So, Steve, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate you, dude. And I was excited the whole day, honestly. So,
Thanks very much for having me on. And it's really great to be on the show.
Kind of just wanted to, I guess, start with where your love for the sport came from.
I guess I probably started boxing when I was about 13 and just at like a local recreational centre. And, to be honest, I wasn't actually that good when I first started out. I used to cop a few floggings in the sparring and that. But I don't know, I just like I like the culture and hanging out with the boys pretty much, around the boxing. And, I like the physical side of it, testing yourself and testing yourself against other people as well. And, from a young age, I actually wanted to be an MMA fighter as well.
Did you?
So I was doing the boxing, I was doing a bit of wrestling, a bit of BJJ, a bit of kickboxing. I went to Thailand, did some kickboxing when I was like 14, 15, and my dad took me over there, and I still wanted to sort of be an MMA fighter. And then I went away to the Australian titles as an amateur, and I won the Australian title, so I thought, I'm just going to stick with the boxing. And I've always just sort of like combat sports, anything sort of involved in that, but I sort of stuck with the boxing, and it's going really well for me. And I won amateur titles. I went through, and then obviously turned professional about 4 weeks after my 18th birthday. So from there I just sort of thought, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it properly, and want to be a world champion.
Dude, how was it in Thailand, man? How was it in Thailand? Because the only thing that comes to mind for me as a little kid was like blood sport and kickboxer and all these all these shows, but the experience looks insane. Was it intense when you were a kid? So
it was I definitely it was a bit of an eye opener for myself too, because before then I'd never really sort of trained at 2-3 times a day, because I only being 14, 15, just doing it sort of more as a hobby. But my dad took me over there, and I got to train 2 times a day with the top. Went to Phuket top team there, and Dragon Muay Thai, and the other one there. So as a kid it was a bit of an eye opener, but I was very lucky and fortunate that I was able to do that as well, and see it from that perspective. And it definitely is. They train at another level. All high level athletes go over there, from different parts of the world, just because of the seclusion and how you can just lock down and train. Funny enough, I'm actually off there next week. Wednesday we're leaving for training camp, so I'm heading off there again for another 2 or 3 weeks. So it should be good.
I actually noticed. I think Tim Zhu actually just went over to Thailand too for his thing. So is that that's actually
he did a bit there. He did about 2 months there first, and then went to America and did a bit there as well. So we're looking to do 2.5 weeks there, and then head to Mexico for 2.5 weeks. So should be good. So
you're starting camp next week?
Well, look, I've been in training camp since the start of the year.
Yes.
Obviously. When I won the fight with Montana, there's a certain amount of time frame we have to get another fight. So in my mind, I was fighting around March sometime.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually got a pretty bad elbow injury, and in February there. So we just had to sort of change up the training a bit and train with the one hand. And look, it's not a bad thing anyway. I broke my hand when I was about 18, 19 as well, and I had to work off the left side there for a couple of years, and it just made me that much better of a boxer, because you're not becoming right hand reliant. You learn how to box, you learn how to use your feet, your timing and everything like that, just off that left side. So I think a lot of boxers definitely benefit when they do break their strong hand, because they learn how to box off that left side. So it was nothing new for me. We just changed and adapted, and at this level you have to make do. You focus on the things you can do and not on the things you can't do. So we thought we were going to be fighting around that March, April time. Obviously that little elbow injury happened, and then talks of this fight overseas with Gabriel Venezuela in Mexico on the Canelo undercard popped up for May 6th. So we just said we're going to put all focus into that and alter the training camp. So I've been training very hard for the last 8-10 weeks, and we're ready for this one. Dude,
this is a huge platform. I mean, you're on a great, man. We're from the United States, obviously. We were rooting for you, man, and I'm gonna say that, and I'll say it probably too, man, because we were rooting for you, and how everything happened. I was kind of gutted, because I was like, even though you won, I know that you didn't want to win that way. Nobody wants to win on a DQ, but people were, I heard the crowd and everything, of course, hometown or whatever, but come on, man, you can't take away from another man's strength and another man. He came from another country. Of course, you came from another country. You were in camp for all those months, and then, I mean, how did that experience feel like when, okay, how did you feel going into that fight, knowing that you were going to fight in another man's hometown, another country?
Yeah, look, I knew it was my biggest fight to date, but I definitely had a point to prove, and I knew I was going to be the B-side and all that sort of stuff. The whole show was set up for, Montana, the homecoming and that. So it didn't really bother me, and it was nothing new to me. But I knew I had to go over there and really win this fight and win it in good fashion. I wasn't going to get much of a go with the judges and that. You can never be too sure. They got a job to do, but you can be very persuasive when you're fighting in your hometown and that. So I knew there was a big job at task, but I really wanted to prove to the world and prove to Eddie Hearn and everyone else that, I'm an elite level fighter at 140 pounds. And like you said, you don't want to win that way, but it was good that I got the knockdown in the second round.
I know.
He was still dangerous, he was still dangerous, and I didn't want to press the action too quickly. This is a 12-round fight. Lots can happen in a 12-round fight. It's a bit of a seesaw thing, back and forth. And, I felt at the end of round 5 there, things really started to shift in my way even more. I was coming on stronger, and, unfortunately, he had a bit of a brain spat after the accidental head clash and threw me over the top of the rope. And, look, my job as a fighter is to rock up, get in the ring and fight and give the fans a hell of a show, and everyone there booing and that. It's a bit of a shame because I don't make the calls as well. The referee, they make the calls, and same with the judges, they make the calls on their opinion as well. So our job is just to get in there and fight, and that's what I did. Unfortunately, we don't want to win that way, so we move on though. The referee made the decision, and then it was upheld the next month by the commission. So it's what it is. We move forward.
It was the right decision, man. It was the right decision, honestly. And
I've always just said to people, if it was the other way around, if I threw Montana and Love over the ropes in Cleveland,
forget about it.
It wouldn't have been a topic of conversation.
Exactly.
It's a silly thing to even mention.
Exactly. And all of us, the supporters and the fans, we all went back and looked at the replay a million times, and I thought that maybe you had an Olympic background in acrobatics or something, because you stuck that landing, no joke, dude. Like I was like, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Any little move.
I look back at it now. It all happened like so quick.
It's instinct, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and all those sort of things, when they do happen like that, they're over in a blur. And I remember just jumping back in the ring, and then the coach just saying, "No, the fight's over. He's been disqualified." And I was like, "Oh, holy shit!"
And
then I was like, I was like, "Stuffing, going to jump up on the rope here," and wind the crowd up a bit because Duffin, he's made the mistake. He had the brain spat, and no one expected me to win. I had some people win some big money on me over here in Australia, and I'm sure everywhere else, because I was paying like $100 to win in every single round.
12-1, I thought, or something like that.
Yeah, 12-1 on the straight win, and then like $100 to win in every single round for knockout. And that, so it's crazy odds. So it's really good for everyone back home here.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Also, when I know that maybe there were a lot of plans for Montana Love, but when you got thrown out of the ring, you didn't want to stop. You didn't complain. I don't even think you complained. That's what made me think, like, man, this guy is a hardcore guy. You know what I mean? It's different when I don't know. I know that the U.S., they're very hard on everyone. Always the booing and everything. They could get mentally into your mind, but man, that's when I found out that you were a tough dude.
We knew going into this fight what it was going to be, what the crowd was going to be like, and my coach has been over there. He trained Michael Katsitas for many years, and Katsitas went over to England and won the world